Good day, boys and girls. Hi, I'm Mr. Ryan, and I'm going to be reading to you about Daniel and the lion's den. This story is from the Bible, a book that is used by Jews and Christians to ground them in their faith. This book is about a young man named Daniel. Long ago, a man named Daniel, who was in exile from the nation of Judah, was praying to his God, and God had given Daniel a special gift, the understanding of all visions and dreams. Soon, Daniel decided it was time to return to home from the city of Babylon. There's Daniel hanging out in his little prayer area. While he was in Babylon, King Darius ruled in his kingdom with the help of 120 governors. These governors reported to 3 different presidents. Daniel was one of the presidents, and he worked very, very hard. The king found Daniel so trustworthy that he wanted to put Daniel in charge of the whole kingdom. Isn't that amazing? The other governors were not happy when they heard this, and they started plotting against Daniel. But they could find no fault in him. That means there was nothing wrong that Daniel was doing. For he was a good man. We shall find nothing against Daniel. He is too loyal to the king, said one of the governors. He is also loyal to his God, said another one of the governors. The only way we can find a complaint against him is if his worship to his God becomes illegal. The governors encouraged the king to agree to a new law that no one should worship any other god for 30 days, and anyone who does so will be thrown into the lion's den. King Darius signed the document, and the law was made. But Daniel loved God and continued to pray 3 times a day as before, ignoring the new law. The governor saw him and went to the king. Daniel has broken the new law. He must be thrown into the lions. King Darius was upset and tried to save Daniel, but he could do nothing. At sundown, Daniel was thrown into the lion's den. "I hope your God will deliver you," called Darius. That evening, no musical instruments were brought to the king, and he could not sleep at all, for he was so worried about Daniel. He arose very, very early in the next morning, and he hurried straight to the lion's den. And he cried out, "Daniel, has your God delivered you?" Darius cried anxiously, "O king, live forever. He has found me blameless," called Daniel joyously. "My God sent his angels to shut the mouths of the lions because I am innocent before him and before you." Darius was glad and ordered that those who had falsely accused Daniel to be thrown into the lion's den instead of Daniel. And then the king decreed that Daniel's God was the only true God. Now, isn't that a very interesting story? Maybe the other governor should have respected Daniel's courage and loyalty. It's a very good book. Until next week, have a great day. God bless you. For my book talk part of the assignment, I would like to talk about the Baby Bible Storybook. I think that it would be important for us in this class to maybe look at some biblical literature considering the fact that there are so many children who have a moral framework that is built on the Bible. This is a great little book. This happens to be a book that I've read to my daughters many times. It goes throughout the entire Bible, starting at Genesis, where the Bible begins, and it takes out excerpts and actual stories that are kind of broken down for little children and even babies. It gives scripture references, which is always nice with a Bible storybook, and the pictures are just beautiful, and they're crafted in a way that really just draws the attention of especially young child. I've been reading this book to my children starting at probably 3 months, and I still read from this book to my 4-year-old once in a while. Another thing that I really enjoy about this book is the fact that it goes slowly through the Bible. A lot of Bible storybooks skip across a lot of the books of the Bible and don't focus on Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, through the end. And they kind of just skip around telling some of the major stories. And so you'll go 700 years in the chronology of the Bible and really miss out on a lot. But it talks about, the men and the women of the Bible. Ruth, who is a very important woman in the Bible, is spoken about, which this is actually one of the only books of the Bible where I have, or of children's Bibles, where I've seen Ruth and Naomi, as well as some of the other women that were very, very crucial in the biblical story. Another blessing about this Bible, the baby Bible storybook, is the fact that it focuses on the Old and the New Testament, and there actually is some doctrinal things such as baptism, the birth of Jesus, the resurrection. And so I think that a young person, a young child, would get a pretty good idea of what Jewish Americans, Christian Americans believe in. I think that it's important because so much of what our country is founded on does have some biblical ties. The Congress quoted over 250 times last year in their different motions before Congress, the Good Samaritan, which is a story right out of the Bible. And so I think just for basic literacy and historical purposes, as also some religious sensitivity, it would be good to cover some of the stories of the Bible. And I think that maybe some religious literature may be included in the future in this class to kind of give us a little bit more of a framework. I guess the question is, would we put it in a fiction or nonfiction? That debate has been waged over the ages, and I think that it would be something that would add to the discussion and quality of the class. So I hope you to enjoy this discussion, this book talk about the baby Bible storybook and the inclusion of biblical or other multicultural religious literature within the children's literature class. Have a great day. Have a nice night. Bye.